Okay, today we're here on Meet the Media with Amelia Ball. How are you, Amelia?
Hi, I'm really well. Thank you for having me.
Where are you sitting? It looks beautiful.
I'm in our front garden, so I apologise in advance if you see the odd passerby or hear the car, but it is very hard to find the most appropriate place in the house these days. It's a full house and yeah, real estate is at a premium inside, so I've escaped out here.
So how are you all coping with being in the inside together?
Yeah, look, all things considered, I think we're doing very well. I feel very grateful that we've got space. We do have an amazing back garden, but it's too far from the router, so I didn't want to risk that. So we've had space, but this is week 8 for us of working from home, both me and my husband sharing the same dining table. And we've had our 5-year-old at home with us as well, who started school this year. So I don't know that you could actually call it homeschooling, but there's been some sort of attempt at that process. And to add to all of that, we also have a 15-year-old. So my husband's boy has been dividing his time between his mum's and our place. So yeah, it's a full house. And our boy is also footy mad. So there's constant thumping and kicking down the hallway. So that also meant that outside was going to be a better option today.
Wow, it'll be so fantastic when we can go back to some kind of normal, whatever that will be.
Yes, we got a date for school. So Benny goes back Tuesday week. So I think
Great.
I just need to make an advent calendar for that one. So
That's a great idea. I love it. Seeing as we're in your front yard right now, share with us something that you wouldn't normally share with people.
I think the most relevant response right now is probably that I have a fairly good kick on me these days. As I mentioned, our boy Benny is footy obsessed. So we've always taken him up to the park for a kick for years. But especially now in isolation, it's been really awesome to break up the day with a trip up to the Oval around the corner and have a kick. And yeah, I was only just thinking the other day, for a girl from Sydney to be kicking a Sharon like I do, it's not bad. Not bad.
It's impressive. Do you have one there? Do you want to give us a demo?
Don't actually. There's about 4 around the house, but no.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
So Amelia, tell us, are you and the magazine still receiving samples, and how do you prefer to do that?
Yes, we are. So it's been very much business as usual for us at the magazine. Our latest issue came out last week. We're well into the process for the coming issue. So obviously we operate entirely separately as a magazine to the annual companion. So the 2021 companion for this year is well underway. So I understand they've already got their first draft together. So in terms of samples for them and the team, that is done for this year's book. But for us at the magazine, absolutely. Like everyone else, it really helps us keep up to date. And the other thing is, it very often triggers some pretty exciting, bigger ideas to be able to join the dots of what's happening around the country. So I think the best thing at this point in time is probably just to email me, as most people have been. And as I mentioned, this is week 8, working from home with no real set date in the future to go back into the office. Anything that has gone to the office has made its way to us at the team. But yeah, probably best in the first instance to just reach out and ask what's best. And I think the other thing to know is that so long as I'm receiving everything over email, then that's a really good start for me. And I am someone who does genuinely love to be bombarded by information from all corners of the industry. I really want to know what's going on. So yeah, get in touch basically.
Oh, that was a brave call, Amelia. I'm not sure I would have been saying that one out loud. Good on you. Tell us, what's lots of wineries are online at the moment, and what's the best thing you've seen?
Oh, there's been so many, and I think, to be honest, it's no real one thing. I think it's just the collective innovation. There's been some super slick stuff to have come out. There's been some really rough and ready stuff. And I think all of it has been so good and very true to the individual businesses. We've seen so many different operations pivot, particularly in hospitality, obviously, and I've seen some great partnerships where, you know, some Melbourne venues here have been offering wine packs, which obviously helps with their cash flow and helps with their wine partners. But there've been some quite savvy themed packs for offer delivered to your door, you know, wines for thinking, wines for drinking, that kind of thing, and obviously comes with some sort of virtual or other information. Yeah, I mean, there's been some really cool stuff, whether it's been Instagram live and, you know, Q&As. But yeah, I think it's just been really nice to see social media being used for good and the common stories being shared, and more people engaging and really hearing what's going on, whether that's how vintage wrapped up for everyone and going behind the scenes, which I think we saw a little more of this year, just because they were such important stories to tell and remind people that vintage is happening or was happening. And yeah, so I think it's just the innovation and obviously spurred on by necessity, but just to see people act so quickly, it's been really great.
Yeah, it's very encouraging, isn't it? Amelia, what's your message to wineries at the moment?
Look, I think my best advice is to just keep sharing your stories. I know that, you know, we've been trying to tell so many different stories through all our different platforms and really share those positives. And obviously it's been a hell of a year off the back of summer and now this. So ultimately just keep your news coming through. We really want to be able to tell those stories. We're constantly uploading news onto our website. We're sharing that through all our socials and other platforms. So yeah, ultimately the only advice I can really give is how it relates to us. So just keep it all coming. As I say, I really do love to hear and get all sorts of information, and that doesn't always mean a polished press release. So if there is some priority developments going on, just, you know, feel free to shoot it through, even if it's in bullet point form. I know that everyone's really busy, so yeah, I think that's the best message. Just keep it coming, and we want to be able to tell those stories.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thanks so much for your time today, Amelia. And your front garden is gorgeous and we can hear the native birds. It's just beautiful.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. See you soon.
Okay, bye.